It's starting to look a lot like a mess, but at least I am getting everything out. Well, not everything, but a lot. There is a lot here. A lot of these red wires here, and I really want to get them out of this gutter to see where they're coming from and where they're going, but something in me tells me that I should be able to put them somewhere up here where I kind of collect all the wires with blocks so that it becomes a lot cleaner, because now it works, but it's just a lot messy, and I just don't want to have it like this. I want to have it a bit more clean, and I'm now going to figure out if there is a sensible way of doing that. Because if you look at the number of switches that I actually have, this is a 12 switch board. Then there are 2 additional ones, then there's these 2. Well, that's about it. So why do we have so much wires here for 12 switches, right? And I kind of see the point, because they're like doubled on there, and that I also don't like at all. So yeah, let me try to figure this out and get back to you after that.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Sailing Wind Rose. Yes, living the life. Although I'm docked in my own house because Cooper dog is still ill. A hernia really takes a lot of time to recover, but he will be getting there. Meantime, the boat is clean, so I thought let's just have some fun and sit here and talk you along in the rewiring of the inner parts of Wind Rose. I think important, if you're going to make a long trip, that you kind of really make sure that everything is okay. And for that, I decided to redo it. The first step after gutting it was making sure that I can have connector blocks where I can feed the block with one wire from the switchboard in such a way that I can order it nicely. I found a solution from Phoenix, and I think in the end it worked out pretty nice. So first step was to unwrap the box with all the goodies.
It's a small package from automation24.com. Dang it. Shipping error. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Sorry for that. The din rail and a whole bag of nice little electronical doodads. So what do we have? This is a number sheet. Not very exciting. These are bridges for 4-pin connectors. These are for 2-pin connectors. These are for a whole bunch of connectors. And all these are interconnected. So if you push 6 wires in there, you push one with current in that, all will have current. So that's very handy. 2, 4, 6, and a whole bunch.
So 50 plus videos later, I think by now you kind of know I want to know certain things for sure. One of them is there any current running through the hole when the system is connected? And for that, by a tip of Bart from the other Koopmans, I bought a Philippi button that actually tests exactly that.
We're going to install the Philippi DC isolation panel. And I made a whole piece of wood around it. As you can see, the cutting went a bit rough and it wasn't straight, so I made it wavy. Thought it was applicable for the boat.
Setup is fairly easy. You connect the brown wire to the hull, the black wire to the negative, and the red one to the positive. And then if you push the button and you see 2 green lights, it should all be good. I added an additional switch actually, so I can both test the household circuit and the starter circuit. But before I could do that, I basically had to start the part that I was dreading most. start cutting all the wires and get it out.
This is one of these you can't go back once you get started moments. To be honest, I've been dreading this one a lot actually. It is time to start cutting zip ties, to untangle this wood of wires and to change it and rewire the whole bloody thing. So that's what I'm gonna do. This is more symbolical than anything else, but basically this wire was going all the way to the back, but in the back was not connected to anything, so I prefer to get those wires out. And it's the first one, and by removing it from the boat will actually be quicker. Haha! So I'm not sure if I'm able to measure this performance improvement, but at least it's one cable out, and I guess a couple more to come. Not a whole lot, but a couple more. This is what we have harvested thus far. All wires that we don't really need. This is all the lightning wires for the lightning of the boat, and we probably will be shortening, and this is what's left, so quite a bit. Here we have all the tie ribs that have been cut, and as you see, it's always a bit of a messy thing to do. What I will be doing now is basically getting everything out, writing down what it is, making sure everything is clean, and then decide on where to locate, and only then start cutting wire. I think everything to and from the consumers is okay. It is just a matter of rewiring everything in here and cleaning it up. Maybe rewiring one or two things, like cables like these. Not really fond of that. And this is actually the cable that goes all the way to the speaker of the VHF.
So in case you're wondering, yes, this is a multi-day, it's actually a multi-week, and it's almost a multi-month project. I think in total it took me about 5 to 6 weeks to have everything sorted, and then I'm not taking into account the ideation. But in the end, it's just a matter of chugging along, and we were almost there.
Yeah. We are getting really close. Look at how nice that's looking. So I will now be disconnecting the switchboard itself. There's some wires left, but not a lot. And then we can start reorganizing. Wow. I'm super happy with this. And actually there is quite a bit of a mess back there. That's most of the black wires that I will be getting out of the way, so it will save me a lot of cables. So this one, the nav lights one, was a biggie. So I got it out, and here you see, it goes here, and then it powers these three. This is exactly what I want to do, but then without, so to say, the kroonsteentjes, because those I don't really like. So this will be ideal. I will be untangling that and adding those to the bricks like these, and then we get a nice clean setup on the rail where this indeed one wire will go down here and go here. So it's very interesting. You see evolution in play. So this is the deck light. I know this boat has a new mast, so I think initially there was no deck light. So if you look at the wiring, it actually turns into a black wire here. It is connected with the other cables that run here, which are the top light and the anchor light. So that basically means, at least that would be my guess, that this cable is a combined black one. And that I know because my deck light had the same. Actually my steam light has it. So you have a steam light, no,
This is actually, that's interesting by the way. This is the steam light is there. This is the cable for the steam light, which is connected to the navigation, which makes sense. And these are the anchor light, the top light, and the deck light with one combined black one. Having this information is really valuable because I foresee that one day I will be in the mast looking at the deck light, seeing a black wire and then think, huh? How is this wired up? And now I know. So where it all comes together, if you untangle the mess, you actually gain the knowledge, which is really good. And yeah, if you just keep chucking along, you at the end will get there. So I'm sort of done. This is the only cable connected still, but it's the bilge pump. And for some strange reason, I actually don't want to disconnect it. Well, I think it's a good reason. Then I can get the main reds off. And we should be good to go. So I can get this block off. I will get all the black wires out. This really works as you think it should work, because I think it's copper. Yeah, it is definitely copper. So it's really, yeah, it's super effective, but it was like way down there, made it impossible for me to reach it. Well, except if I will be upside down in this box, which is not what I want. And yeah, it's just not how you want to have it if you have the option to change it again. And if you start from scratch, I understand how this evolves, but if you have the option to clean it, then appreciate what I'm doing. Told you so. You'll get there. Well, it's official. All the wires are disconnected, except for the bilge pump. And now it's a matter of rewiring it in such a way that it becomes less messy. And as I have been bragging about how good that will look, well, I first have to get it done, because it ain't gonna be that easy, I guess. Boat jobs are always in weird places. But if you actually make it work, it makes you super happy. So just keep pushing. But why, oh why, is it always cramped? So this one will be very symbolic. This is all the navigation lights, and I will be adding them to the black boxes that we have here, which is 4 inlets. And this is sorry, this is 3 plus 1 main supply. So yeah, as I said, symbolic. There we have it. The first cable clamps are on, and the first heat rings are on as well. So hack light positive. Ta-da! Navigation positive 20. Going through a little cable clamp, going to a big cable clamp, but just to bring some structure right now. Through the gutter, and yes, there is room for this. Going up, positive, positives, positives, 3 positives, and 3 negatives. Well, you can have an opinion on how this looks, but then these are the only ones that are like this. So let's not overdo it. Negative, 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 and the negative lead going there, which is this one. Factually, I didn't change anything because this was with, and we call it in Dutch, kroonsteentjes. But effectively, I changed a lot because this is now in a decent manner, and I can start connecting the others. I have 1 wire instead of 3. That is going back here. I also changed
the switchboard, so I have all the black ones on one side, and then on the black sides on that side, and then the red ones on this end. Obviously, the consequence of that is that some of the switches are now flipped, but I ordered all new switches because some of them light up, some of them don't light up, and I have the feeling some of them are 220 volts, not 12 volt switches. So I will be getting new switches for all of them, and as they're all the same, I can put it in such a way that it all fits. But now for the cabling, I can at least do it like this. I am very happy with this. I'm now gonna do the next one, which is the tricolore, which is just one switch, so that's gonna be easy. But I will be putting the black one over there and no longer over there.
So not only is this a great moment to reconnect wires, it's also a great moment to create clarity by removing and replacing wires that are unclear. And what is unclear can be as simple as a non-coherent color coding. Because if you have plus and minus and you have two white wires, then what is the plus and what is the minus?
I don't really like white wires. And one of them was going to the light here. I solved that by cleaning it all up, because this actually was also a mess. There was a spare wire there. The spare wire I used to actually power this light, but also the one that was back there. So I basically now have the wet cell and the tank area all connected to one wire, which is perfect because it's just a small light. So I will be replacing this. Everything is labeled, so I can now see what's going where. So that looks a whole lot better to me. And these are actually specifically for wires that are twisted. So not the hard ones. You actually need to check that when you do anything. But I think that looks a whole lot better. One of them I found rather quickly. The other one I was wondering, where the hell does it actually go? So by following it, I found it was here with that light. But this actually doesn't fit really nice. I think it's the wrong connector size. I'm not sure if you can actually see it, but it's too big. And I have never used it. So I thought, well, why not make the boat faster and get it out? You know, this is a couple of grams, so, and then the wire. So, but in case somebody would really regret that, I'm gonna thread it and make sure that there is a thread that we can use to get it back here. So let's pull that wire, pull this wire, get the whole lot out, and have that sorted. Yes, it's a boat job, so it's in curious places and very, very uncomfortable, as it is supposed to be in the boat. Just stop moaning and start pulling, Jan. Oops! You don't see it anymore, especially not if you're standing like from here, which I normally do, which is good. Interesting experiment. We have the wet cell main negative here, and we have the net cell tank room positive. So if I would connect this with the blue eddy, then there should be light. Oh my, look at that. And one. That's that's super good news for the girls, because it means that this actually works. Where is it? Yeah, baby. Nice. So this works. And this actually also works, which is good, because this is a way for me to test this in an easy way. Not everything is cook and soapy, as we say. Sometimes something breaks, And in this case, it is this little, well, thing. Now this normally doesn't slide, which is good news, because I also have my verbandtrommel. And then you don't see it anymore. But, well, if you watch my videos, you know there is a crack in the window. And I did it. Bummer. But, well, you win some, you lose some. This one is actually now a lot smoother. So that's good news. I'll put back the paracetamol, which is if you have a headache. So I think if you have a boat, it's good to have that. Opsa.
So obviously this was not just for this one wire, it was for quite a few. But I will not bore you with that. What was more interesting is that I decided to replace all the switches on the switchboard for one, functioning ones with a light, and B, color-coded ones, so I actually know what is on and what is off.
Opta. All the old switches that were sort of working, but the light didn't work anymore. And now we have all new switches. So all the orange ones are for the interior lighting. All the green ones are for the exterior lighting, meaning navigation lights. All the blue ones are for the stuff, like the bilge pump, the VHF, the i70s, the fridge, and the radio and the stuff. And then there is one red one, which is the deck light, because I don't think you want to have that up and running if you are below decks. So last couple of steps. One of them is adding an additional negative there, connecting it to the main battery, and then that's done. I need to do it for the red one. I need to connect this lot, and then I'll start adding well, let's see if I then have power, basically. The grande finale. So it looks a bit messy, but oh, I actually see I already have. Oh, dang it. Okay, so I now have a spare red wire, and I already had spare red wire, so okay, well, that better safe than sorry. This is a bit of a shame, but at least we have 25 square millimeter black as well. And that is the last cable I need to connect before I can actually see the whole thing work. At least that's what I hope. So let's connect it, shall we? One of the last ones, let's say the last one, because probably we'll find another one somewhere. But at least it's one of the last ones.
Now, I am by no means a prophet, but I did learn that if you say it's the last one, it's never the last one. And I was quite correct. However, at a certain point in time, it was the last one. So then it was just a matter of testing it.
Okay, this is the moment of truth. I've checked all these. They're all in the off mode. I have the setup here such that I can actually see the consumption, which is 0. So just in case I have a fire extinguisher. But the point here is that if I switch this, it should stay at 0 and there should be no sparks and no nothing, and it should work. There we go. Yes! Woohoo! It did move. I kind of scared out. So let's just see if I switch on lights. Oh yes! It works! There you go. Okay, let's switch it off again. Alright, let's start testing the entire boat. It works! Oh my god. So happy with that.
And then there is the most important button in the whole boat. The is there any electricity on the whole button. If you push the button and you see 2 green lights, you're in the green zone. If not, you're in trouble. This is not doing anything. Oh, because it's not selected. So if I select DC, let's look what happens here. That's already a good sign, nothing changes. Oh, well, that's not a good sign then. Or should it be off? I actually don't know. I need to check the manual. So that freaked me out. But I figured out, a little bit counterintuitive, but if you switch it this way, which to me makes sense because then you connect these two, it actually connects these two. So if I switch it the other way, it actually works. So I switched the cables. And now if I put it upwards, this is the DC home board. It actually works and the hull is isolated. Yes! So the hull isolation is good. That was my main worry. But obviously I now need to switch on all these panels and keep pushing this button to see if it actually works. And now I've got the starter battery and that also is isolated from the hull, which makes me extremely happy because you see here the apparatus with the brown wire going into the cloud, coming out right over there, directly bolted to the hull. And now with my little magic apparatus, I can every now and then check, and I get 2 green lights, which is just the best button on the whole boat. It's the 2 green light button. It does absolutely nothing, but it gives you a very comfortable feeling. Woo! I can keep looking at this. So now it's just a matter of seeing what happens if I switch on this one. Oh, one more left. Because it should do nothing now. 0 watts, very good. Green light, good. And if I then switch on, all the lights should actually work. Still good. Still good, although the light isn't working, but that's something else. That light actually has a bit of a problem, I know. Still good. Oh, this is gonna take some time, I guess. Still good. Another lights. Oh, the lights are burning in the boats. Still good. And let's look at the consumption. We are doing 15 watts, 1 amp. Well, fair enough, I see. So we have the light on over there. We have the lights on over here. Over here, we have another one over there. We have them over there. Over here, over there. All the lights are on. We're drawing 2 amps and green lights. Ha! So the lights are good. I'm just thinking, do I have more lights? I don't think so. I don't even think I connected that one. No, I didn't. So this is it. This is all the lights I have. So I put on everything I have, except for the drink water pump, when I can actually activate it just to see what it does. It doesn't do a lot. I have 3-4 amps, but my navigational lights are on, my anchor light is on, my deck light is on, my auxiliaries are on, my computers are on, everything is on except for the fridge and the drinking water pump, and I'm doing 10 amps. So there's wire for 50 amps, so yeah, man, I should be okay. Super nice. So let's look at deck if the lighting still works. That's 1, that's 2. That's 3, and I can actually see the steam light up there, and I can see the navigation light up there, the anchor light, but it It's working.
Yep. Functioneert auch. And then all of a sudden, you're done. It's done. Yeah. So a massive amount of cables and for just 10 watts. 10 watts of power. 10 amps, sorry, 10 amps of power. So I am really happy with it. And now there is just a small task. Well, the small task of cleaning up the boat, because for some reason this job created a lot of stuff, like really a lot of stuff. So let's tidy it up a bit, shall we?
Another episode of Sailing Wind Rose, where I can now relax a bit, especially since Cooper is not very mobile. Might also mean that I'm not going to the Nordics, but possibly to England. At least still want to go for an extended period of time. The boat is rewired. I have the instant happiness button and the 2 green lights to comfort me. Next episode will be about the navigation apparatus situation on this boat. So I use an iPhone to do my navigation, and I want to change that a little bit. And I'm not going to buy any expensive equipment, but I'm going to make it a lot more safe and usable. So if you're interested, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, leave a like. And if you want to give a comment, leave a comment. See you next time. See you later, boys and girls. Cheerio.
I can keep looking at this. One more time. Yeah, baby.